the edge of a global catastrophic disaster. Human conflict, nuclear bombs, natural disasters, chemical and biological warfare. Without warning, the world as we know it can come to an end.
22 days ago, a group of volunteers entered a 10-week experiment to see if they can survive and rebuild after a simulated viral outbreak leaves Los Angeles and the rest of the planet devastated. Their new home, a cordoned-off 80,000 square foot warehouse near downtown Los Angeles. They started with no electricity, no water,
nothing,
and no communication with the outside world.
They're not broadcasting, they're just transmitting.
As part of the experiment, an outside gang of looters and thugs challenged the colonists' resources and security. So far, the volunteers have built the survival basics.
There you go.
And after an attack to steal their resources, they assembled an arsenal of weapons. Now,
I'm looking at 5.
a quest for solar energy and a fight for survival.
No! Touch me!
As day 23 begins, the colonists are still struggling to make a normal life for themselves.
I am not happy in this warehouse. In the end, our team has one main goal, and that is to get the hell out of here.
Acquiring food and supplies after a disaster can be difficult. Eventually, you'll want to leave the city and go to a place that has more sustainable resources.
With their supplies diminishing, the volunteers have set their sights on leaving the bleak urban environment of the colony by fixing a broken-down flatbed truck. As part of the experiment, the volunteers must survive and rebuild using the limited resources on hand. But later in the experiment, they'll be given details of a possible escape route. Last week, they took their first step toward life beyond the colony by getting the truck's engine up and running.
It runs! Purrs like a kitten.
Now, the colonists need to figure out the rest of the plan for their escape vehicle.
What do we need on this to really get out of here? Think of this as our Exodus vehicle, right? It's got to look scary, and it's got to be able to take somebody out if you really need to. What kind of weaponry can we have? I mean, one thought I had is an air cannon and or a flamethrower. Yeah, what you got, Lilani?
Even if we had something protruding out, kind of like spears like on a pole, if we could sharpen something out.
Ooh.
Along here, we all got to be able to sit. Like, we could go several miles without running into people. So I was just looking at the simple, wooden benches that we can all sit on that open up like on a sailboat. We can store all of our food on
That
them.
sounds great.
We have to watch our clearance on this. We're dealing with a 13-foot truck, so I'm thinking taking that shell off and then working the plankings.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get to work.
All right.
Get to work.
The idea is if we pull this, the weight of this thing is going to pull it down and snap it off, and we'll be free and clear of this back.
Oh, it took out the drill. Yeah, there we go.
Good, done.
With the back removed, it's time to clear the busted planks from the deck, which means it's time to crank up their new generator. 4 days ago, the colonists bartered for it and 5 gallons of gasoline from a band of traders. The new Jenny should put out 4 times the juice of their old one, a jury-rigged model Mike made from a pressure washer engine and 2 car alternators. With the new generator, the colonists should finally be able to crank up their arc welder, a necessity for working on the escape vehicle.
Back to the Jenny. Damn it.
In the shop, Mike tries to figure out what's wrong with the new generator.
I had current through there. That meter shows that we have some electricity flowing, but not enough, not the right one. It's not doing it right. It should be steady, and it's not steady. It's jumping up and down. Something is seriously wrong. Right now, this is a dead deal. Joe, the trader, screwed us. We gave him 2 good machines for a junk machine.
In a catastrophe, small generators and batteries are a temporary solution for power. But eventually, you'll need something more sustainable for the long term.
Until they can fix the new generator, it's back to the old one. But that means no welding.
It's not a Jenny, it's an alternator. It's a car alternator. It was only meant to charge a battery. It'll get us power, won't get us welding power. I would give my left you-know-what for a couple of solar panels. I'm so sick of this.
I think I mentioned that I saw solar panels.
Where?
Joey remembers seeing solar panels in 2 places, on the roof of a nearby abandoned building and on his walk to the colony 22 days ago.
Hey.
I'm looking at
Where?
About 1 o'clock. Those have to be solar panels, I think.
They're worth a look. To duplicate the generator, we're gonna need about 8 panels, just to keep the batteries charged up so we can use power tools here and there.
Maybe if you want to go check what we saw on the roof with binoculars with a few people,
right.
I'll take a few people to where I think I remember seeing them.
Let's organize our little raiding parties and get going.
Okay,
Go.
Michael is really getting everyone involved, and everyone recognizes the importance of having an alternative source of energy, and us being situated here in Los Angeles, there's no better place to tap into the seemingly never-ending energy from the sun.
All right, lock up.
The colonists have encountered thugs and thieves on the streets outside the colony. Not knowing what lies ahead, they proceed with caution.
All right, looks
The
clear.
building where Mike saw the panels and the freight yard from day 1 have both been cordoned off as part of the experiment. Joey will lead his team to the yard, while Mike takes a crew to break into the building.
Think anyone lives here?
I don't know. Steel frame door.
Let's see if I still got the skills.
Yeah. There we go.
That was it? That was it?
Hang on. I think I got it. Yeah!
There.
Crazy.
Anything spooky out there?
Solar panels.
Those were the ones?
Wow.
Solar panels are used to power warning lights on railways and highways. They don't need to be attached to the electricity grid, and they last for years.
In fact, that's exactly what we need on the bottom. We need to take this whole thing, okay? All right, let's roll out of here fast. Come on.
Wait.
Good?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike and his team have the more difficult task of disassembling a permanent installation on the roof.
Now I gotta put all the screws back in here. I unscrewed my end over here.
After a disaster, scavenging and stealing may actually become a way of life. And the people who would ordinarily never steal are out there taking things.
The panels weigh about 20 pounds each, and these colonists have netted 14 of them. John V. scavenges materials for a makeshift litter that will carry the load.
We got solar panels and, all the energy we can use pretty much during the daytime, but now we just gotta set it up. All right. There.
Let's push it down now.
You guys, open up!
Come on in, you guys.
Look what we got. Okay, just push it. Keep on pushing it now. There we go.
Way to go, guys.
How many did we get?
14.
We got 14.
Oh, damn. What are those, 75s?
75, so do the
We
math.
got 4 75s over there.
So we got 2 kilowatts almost.
All told, the colonists net 18 75-watt solar panels, enough to keep their batteries charged indefinitely.
Come on, guys. Come on. First of all, let me tell you what a solar panel does and how it's made. These are very fragile. The toughest part is the glass. You can't scratch it, but you can break it. Let's say this solar panel had 2 of these cells missing. It would put out maybe 10 watts instead of 75. It's that sensitive. So we have our battery bank. We have our inverter, and our inverter gives us AC. The solar panels are all going to be lined up. The most important thing to do is to set these panels up on a stand outside.
Mike's plan calls for building a solar panel structure in 3 stages. First, they'll weld together 3 frames, each holding 6 panels. Then they'll construct a base for the frames to fit into and rotate on. The third and final step will be mounting a motorized swivel that follows the sun as it moves across the sky.
So imagine our Jenny running 8 hours a day with no noise.
And no fuel.
And no fuel. We've got the power that we need right now to do whatever the hell we want. This is a big job. Everyone's got to be involved. It's a lot of work. This takes precedence over everything.
The colonists have a great scheme for making power, but they need their new generator to implement it.
I cannot weld up the solar system. We need the big Jenny up to weld. Everything's on hold until tomorrow morning when there's light. I can jump on that Jenny and try to figure out why the hell it's not working.
Coming up,
that is freaking amazing.
The quest for solar continues. And the colonists face a threat to their very survival.
All you want to do is steal. Get the out.
We need to start rationing a little bit. I think we're on our last bag of coffee. We're done with peanut butter.
Currently, they have 11 days of food, 9 days of water, and only 4 gallons of gas for the generator.
I'm going to immediately jump on the Jenny. Let me work on the Jenny alone, because 2 heads in 1 toilet doesn't work, okay?
Okay, just let me know if you need help.
I like welding and making lots of strong stuff, so I need to get this Jenny working, one way or another.
If you're going to try large-scale construction, you need an arc welder. It's the kind of tool that allows you to fuse metal into whatever shape you need. But it requires a good deal of power, about 3,000 watts.
After 4 hours, Mike is still baffled.
Looks like it goes to the top.
How's this going?
It's going rough, man. It's going rough.
Can you start it and let me see if I can...
We'll start it, but you measure it and you'll get nothing.
Mike, it's running too slow. The RPMs are too low.
With John C.'s help, Mike realizes his mistake.
I lowered the RPMs thinking that we'd save fuel. Lowering the RPMs
wouldn't engage, just didn't kick in.
It kicked in, but it didn't kick in enough. This thing is meant to run at 1,800 to 3,000 RPM. Let's put the damn thing together and we can weld.
With the Jenny finally cranking, the solar build can officially begin. In the side room, Mike and Joey find plenty of scaffolding pipe for the solar panel frames.
If we have 1 piece of pipe, we need 1 pipe to go inside or outside of one of these pipes.
And how loose can it be?
It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little loose.
A little loose.
Yes. All this stuff's the same. What's that?
Let's cut this off. Let's cut this off and see what we got. Like butter. Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
There's our swivel.
All right.
Gotcha.
Got me again. Got me a couple times.
With the frames in place, Mike moves on to stage 2 of the build, the supporting base.
We're basically going to have a pole here.
Okay.
It's going to be drilled into here for a base. And then we put our big H units on top of that to hold the solar panel.
There we are.
Woo. Morning, noon, afternoon.
In the main warehouse space, computer engineer John C. is working on the final stage of the build, a motorized solar trekking system.
This is actually the gear motor that we're going to use. So these are little photo resistors from these little electronic kits over here. Now, if the sun were coming in like this, if it saw this one more than the other one, that motor would start turning clockwise. And then as soon as they got even, it would stop, which is what you want. If it were to overshoot or it were to be night, it would back up until it got even again. So both of those things need to be in the full light, and then it'll stop. And it's working, which is pretty darn cool.
I love it. I love it.
I think it'll work.
That's just freaking amazing.
All right.
That is freaking amazing. That is brilliant.
The components are complete. It's time to assemble them in the yard.
Now, what we need is a cross gusset this way and another cross gusset that way to keep the shear from doing this. We already have this taken care of.
I'm gonna raise that one up as much as we need it.
Right, raise that one up as high as you can get it. Tilt, tilt, tilt. Okay, Claude, you're taking more off the back here.
Watch your hand.
Manhandle them.
All right, back over.
Watch your finger.
Are you clear?
This is where we test our welds. So if they're gonna break now and not with the panels on. So. They ain't breaking.
That worked.
Engineering is about inventing cool stuff, and there's no better motivation than survival to invent your way into a better existence or keep yourself in existence.
Yes, sir.
Rather than drill screws into the delicate panels, the colonists mount them at the edges with bolts and washers.
And Joey, this is the worst time to ever miss.
I got you.
This would be the worst time to ever miss a screw.
I don't miss.
By the end of the day, the colonists have mounted all 18 panels. The dream of unlimited electrical power awaits only John C.'s sun tracking system. Coming up on the colony,
we have to coexist.
2 more volunteers arrive,
I just find their behavior to be sketchy.
and the colonists' world turns upside down. Dawn breaks on the colony. John C. and Mike still have a day's work to finish the solar project, and John V. has a scheme to solve a long-standing gripe.
I was thinking of doing that washing machine. My idea was just a simple bucket, tilted on its side.
Until this point, the colonists have done their wash by hand in tubs, using corrugated steel as a washboard.
You put your laundry in here, your dirty clothes, right in there, and it spins around, propelled by, you guessed it, a bicycle. So that's it.
Will it make my clothes more beige?
And your brown's more radiant.
So what I had planned here was to get these drive wheels, then this whole assembly being tilted like this.
When this spins on the rollers, it'll spin on these rollers, and to drain it, drops down to drain. Basically what I'm gonna do is get this freewheel gear off the bicycle. It'll be almost like riding a normal bike. It should just line up to the barrel, sit right on top of this wheel, and roll out the barrel, it'll spin with it. It doesn't run freewheel.
Whack the damn thing.
The last component of the solar power system is John C.'s tracking device.
This arm is going to connect on here and move them all side to side to follow the sun.
Good. Let's see if this thing works, Michael.
All right.
So click it on. Let's try. All right. Motor's going.
It's moving. It's tracking.
Moving. Now I want to see if the tracker's going to actually see it. That's looking good.
The Earth receives more energy from the sun in just 1 hour than the entire planet uses in a year. If harnessed properly, solar energy could take you completely off the grid and eliminate your reliance on fossil fuels.
As you can see, we've got our gear motor here.
And this is a little tracking system that I designed. Basically has one photocell right here with some shades. When the sun is out, it will track till the sun is actually shining on that cell. Then it'll stop this motor. When the sun advances, the thing will advance along with it. At the end of the day, there's another photocell at the top, shuts the whole thing down.
We're getting free power from the sun, no generator, no gasifier, batteries getting charged by total solar power. Thanks to these guys.
Incredible, guys.
Hey! Everybody, guys.
Awesome. We're completely running on solar. The whole system is working perfectly. The arrays are moving as they're supposed to. They're generating the right power. The tracker is working. I couldn't be happier. So it's all hooked up, but the best is actually in here.
Okay.
I patched it in, made a little voltmeter here actually to measure the voltage. It's at about 14 volts, which is great. The inverters are telling me that these things are full.
This means welding, this means fabricating, this means getting the truck running.
And getting out of here. That would be awesome. Let's go use some of it.
Yeah, let's go use some power.
I want to light this place up like it was a Christmas tree.
As day 25 ends, Mike's in the mood to celebrate.
Light them up, yeah, baby. Let there be lights. Woo, yeah, baby. Lights, baby. And a lot more to come.
John V is ready to finish off the pedal-powered clothes washer.
Okay, now we're gonna take this bike and mount it into the brackets.
We've got to cut down a couple of more pieces of wood to shim it up. I'm literally a couple screws away. Okay, why don't you put the drum on there?
We didn't have any shorter ones?
Nope, that's all we have. We're washing laundry, man.
It will be a lot of water. It doesn't rip my clothes.
That works, man. Look at that. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Probably didn't even need to add that
I'm happy.
earlier. It's fully
This is
getting
the
wet.
gentle cycle.
How my clothes weren't that dirty?
Look at all that dirt. Oh, your clothes weren't dirty, Maya. Look at this. It looks like river mud. For 30 seconds of pedaling, that's some pretty dirty water. We so do not suck.
It's very important that we maybe take a break, sit down, get off our feet, rest, relax.
This is it.
In this phase of the experiment, two outsiders will stake a claim to the colony itself. Up to this point, outsiders sent to the compound have clearly been outsiders. The last thing the colonists expect is someone walking in with their own key.
The thing about a disaster on a major scale is that laws and normal property rights may be ignored. People will squat in houses, buildings, pretty much wherever they can. We saw this after Katrina.
Yo!
Hey, guys. Hey, somebody's in here. Somebody's in here. Somebody just got in.
Who the hell are you guys?
Hey, everybody, we got company. Everybody in, now.
What's up, man? Stay there.
I don't have to stay there. You're in my house.
No, this is my house.
It's your house.
I left here.
You left here, and now...
6 weeks ago, and now what is all of this? What?
The two new arrivals have been briefed on the colonist activities over the past 5 weeks.
It's called our home, baby.
Who brought this truck in here?
It was outside, we brought it in.
When a guy that's 6'5" and and 260 pounds walks in your door, you're not actually going to tackle the guy and pin him to the ground.
What about my cash? That was in the safe.
We got the cash.
You got the cash.
We got the
my
cash.
vodka?
Unfortunately, the vodka's gone.
Getting more than I did.
What do you know? It's
Andre.
Andre, I'm Joey.
Joey.
Okay. Elizabeth.
Andre, I'm Mike.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hey, Andre.
Yeah, Mike, everybody introduce yourself. Let's get him some water.
Elizabeth, nice to meet you, Elizabeth.
Leave that stick with
Just
you.
out of curiosity, because we have been having some problems, did you guys just walk right in?
Yeah, I have a key to that door.
Oh, okay.
It's his place, obviously. We were wondering who was here before us, and we didn't realize that they would be coming back.
You guys made a lot of changes, huh?
We did more than you think.
What's up with the truck?
That truck is gonna run.
You think you're gonna start that truck up?
We started that truck up.
That truck runs. And we're gonna get other things running. We got Jenny's, we got power, we got solar panels, we got everything.
Are we still stocked with food in the pantry?
We got some food.
Okay.
The one thing that gets me right off from the bat is you did have a key, but we haven't seen anybody else except for you two right now, as far as people that we want to run into. I know this is your place. You have to understand this has kind of become our place, all right?
Joey, please speak to where we can all hear you, because you're representing all of us. Thank you.
When Andre and Elizabeth arrived, my intuition was just throwing red flags. Joey is in charge of security, but as soon as we have two new people walk into our home, within 5 minutes, he's willing to show them all of our secrets.
Right now, Mike has been staying in here, okay? We've been running electrical. This bathroom we've been using. We're basically just flushing everything with gray water.
Oh, great. You guys got a workout room, huh? Who put this up? That's nice. We gotta work out sometimes. We gotta spar together. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So what we've been doing is locking up at night, putting this board in between it, basically trying to just make a little Normandy out here. As you can see, I opened up the wall a little bit right there. Remember you had that room right there?
Yeah.
I made a catwalk attaching that so I can have a lookout post also up there.
After a disaster, resources are limited, and if you have a functioning shelter going, you have to decide under which conditions, if any, that you're going to accept new people. By not discussing it, the issue will force itself on you because there are always more people who need help.
You put yourself in his shoes. He left this place trying to get out, and he couldn't get out, and he came back, and he found us.
Yeah, but still, I mean, having a key, you welcome, embrace him, welcome him with open arms, tell him everything where all our food is. I think that was, keeping all our, putting all the cards above the table, that wasn't wise. We're in a survival, we're in a really tense situation, and I just don't feel like that was the best move.
Chickens.
Are you the leader of these guys?
It's been happening, but we don't try to claim it that way, but it's been happening.
This guy was obviously here before. I don't trust him, but I don't not trust him either. I know the others think I'm stupid for that, but it'd be different if these people just showed up off of the street. That wasn't the case. This guy had a key. He knew what was in the place.
So if I were to, if I wanted to go back out and look for survivors, you seem like a pretty strong...
We'll talk.
Okay.
Whatever we have to do. Yes, ma'am.
There's no need for a grand tour right now. Let's not take it upon yourself
to Allison.
discuss, let's all discuss this, talk.
Absolutely,
No
Allison.
need for you to take control right now. This is the way he's acting. Here's the food, here's the water.
How to receive newcomers is often a point of friction within a group. Some are quick to welcome outsiders. Others are far less trusting.
The two people that are against bringing people in are you and Joey. And you guys are just like here with
Well, he walked in with the key.
That's fine. Doesn't mean anything. But like in a survival situation, there's no finders keepers.
The one thing I would say is that we just be attentive.
We cannot be attentive by saying, guess what? Hi, welcome. There's our food, there's our other food, there's our food. Here's how to shoot the gun towards me. Let's make this a group effort and not a Joey showing them where everything is effort.
I'm stepping back. I'm
Please
done.
do.
I'm done.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right now, I just can only relate it to the four of us when we walked in and how grateful and appreciative we were to have a place to stay off the streets, and they don't have that same approach, so it's odd. It's very odd.
Despite their misgivings, the colonists sit down to their first dinner with the new arrivals.
So I'll eat and welcome, and hopefully this is maybe the beginning of something good, and please relax while you're here.
So what are we eating?
Basically just some beef and rice and a few noodles put together.
So how many servings can I have? Can I get 3, 4?
What we got going here.
Something we always tackle.
Every day we're eating canned foods, we're consuming these things that we're not replacing. That will not last forever. It's incredibly stressful to be in the situation where we don't have food past 2-3 weeks.
I don't know if I want to stay here, but you know, I feel like this place is just as much mine as yours. I'll stay as long as I want.
We're a community, and we have rules that we have to live by for our survival. The consequences are severe. You guys are out there, you know it, because all of our lives are at risk. It's not okay to just go and crack open our community's food and eat when you're hungry. It's not okay to urinate in whatever stall you want to and waste water. That's not okay. We have rules.
I get that, but my question is, for people who come in, if there's death outside the door, are you going to turn them away if they don't follow your rules? You're going to play God and say, you do this and stay here, or you're out.
We play by the rules because we need to protect everyone in here from the chaos outside. And if you want to come in to be protected from the outside, then what is your problem to go according to our rules?
Problem is being told that I must do something.
The rules abide by not wasting water, not
just common sense stuff.
It's common sense stuff. We're not telling you you have to sit there and do that and go there and do that. No.
You know what, guys, I can't take anymore. I'm gonna leave here when I want to leave here. It's not your decision. Until then, we have to coexist.
As part of the experiment, these two people have been sent in to test the colonists' unity and challenge complacency.
I'm just trying to know where Andre is at all times.
I want to do my own thing right now, you know, and I'd like you guys to, like, respect that and just kind of back off.
I'm trying to talk to him and get to know him. I just find their behavior to be sketchy.
As much as I want to like them and trust them, part of me still worries that they may not be completely on the level, and that, you know, the fact that Andre has a key, you know, doesn't make him necessarily a good guide.
I don't know what the right thing to do is right now. I'm not exactly sure, so I'm just kind of in the waiting period. They haven't proved themselves yet. Not at all. What does that sound?
Is it cool if I take a shower?
Absolutely.
The colonists rationed their water supply, using only 1 minute of hot water per shower. But Liz is taking her time, draining the reservoir with a 30-minute soak.
Today, my mind has a heightened sense of awareness, let's say. Just keeping an eye on our new friends. All the water that we brought to the roof. We give her a shower and she took all the water. Guess what? Let Elizabeth take a shower, drained everything on the roof. Not one single drop.
Why am I not surprised?
What are you guys doing?
I was gonna put down something about us being here.
That's Morgan, and that's what she's doing, just to chronicleize our stay here. I guess
You work out today?
A little bit.
Feel like sparring? Get a little workout in?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can handle you.
Yeah.
See what you got.
All right. All right.
That's nice. You come with us.
Right?
Nah.
Yeah.
That's all you got?
I told you, girl.
Liz.
I feel like Andre's testing me. Just to see. Just to figure it all out.
The colonists call an emergency meeting to discuss Andre and Liz.
Hey, Mike, let's all just have a sit down.
Hardened tool steel, my triple threat nose picker.
You know, you can pick your friends, but you can never pick your friend's nose, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Is everybody here? Amy? My nose picker.
We have a number of concerns. This is a very serious situation. We welcome these guys in, okay? We gave them the benefit of the doubt. We've offered them food. We've offered them shelter. We've offered them to participate and become a member of our community. What that takes from their end is a willingness to contribute. How much time we're going to give them, that's going to be up for discussion. They're trying out for the team, and so far they haven't made it.
The most important thing for a group that's digging their way out of a disaster is a sense of stability. That sense can only come once the group members are familiar and comfortable with one another. If an outsider or group of outsiders suddenly appear, it can upset that fragile dynamic.
This isn't just a house guest that we have to turn away and hurt some feelings. If this doesn't work out, this can be our survival. The consequences are severe.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. This is. We're not sitting around here talking while they're taking our. Look up! It's not Solar Week anymore.
Andre, you want to have a sit down with us?
I just want to look out this window.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We've been very hospitable. He's not even respecting what you're saying. He's looking away. Can't you see what he's doing? If you think that you intimidate me by your size, I can put you down with my thumb. So respect me, look at me, and
face with that.
What are you gonna do?
I'm done talking. We'll talk later.
Okay. Andre, I have not disrespected you once, all right? Neither is Joey, neither is George, neither is the professor. We are all standing here. Basically what we're saying, there are codes of conduct here, all right? We have worked hard to get water. You don't know how hard and how many times we have risked our lives to get water, and you know water is the basis of survival. If you want to not be a part, then don't be a part. Don't use the water. Don't use the shower. Don't use anything that we have worked hard for. It's just basic.
Andre and Liz don't like the rules, so the colonists are ready to see them leave.
I'll ask you.
Doc.
Liz, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's go upstairs and get out. Got it.
Could someone go and grab a couple of cans for him and some water, please? Just something.
Yeah, baby.
John C. gathers up some food to send them off. But the newcomers make one more grab at the colony's resources.
We've got food for you guys.
John.
What? Excuse me, Liz.
Okay.
Excuse me. What's up? Wait. Liz, what are you doing?
After weeks of isolation, the volunteers begin to believe that the world of the experiment is real, and therefore any threat to their food or supplies becomes an actual threat to what is keeping them alive. In that case, they'll defend their resources almost as if their very lives depend on it.
Hey, Liz, what are you doing?
This stuff is ours just as much as it is yours.
Andre and Liz have been sent in to test the colonists' unity and complacency. They've been instructed not to physically harm the colonists, but the colonists don't know that, and accidents can happen.
Get off of me, Blondie. Put the cans down. Andre!
Get your hands off of me.
Now! We can't.
It is out.
You, man.
Okay, when you got gotta take it then.
Now you've done enough. Over there. Look over there. Don't you ever touch me! How dare you! We let you in here! We gave you water, we gave you food, and all you want to do is steal! Get the out!
Give us a couple more days.
And you know what? Maybe even good, but you asked, man. We can't be with respect.
Let's go.
Drop the cans!
No, let him have that. The water.
Scared of your... Get out! Get out!
You emptied my bag? Put my back in my bag.
You can leave, but you're only leaving empty cans. Get out!
Are you going out? No, get out of my bag.
Take your stuff and be gone. Open that door.
Get out and never come back, because you're never allowed back.
We'll be back. Don't worry.
We'll be ready for your...
You be ready. All 10 of you, be ready.
We kicked you out this time, we'll kick you out again.
Be ready.
I'm okay.
You're alive. That's good. Nobody's hurt.
Hell yeah, I'm alive. Okay? Fine. Fine. You teach me well. I'm fine.
That door that they came in.
It's latched.
It's okay.
I'm too mad right now. Please don't.
It's okay.
Even Allison didn't know she could get that angry. I knew she could, and she did. And that impressed me. And I think she feels stronger for being able to get, you know, violent and when it was necessary, and it was necessary.
It was almost beautiful and poetic and magical all at the same moment, with all the craziness and the yelling and the screaming, to feel that unity finally just snap into place, as if we all had one common purpose, and that was to get these two threatening people outside of our compound, and we did. The colony's code of conduct. Our colony adheres to live with respect towards all of the following and to contribute towards the procurement and security of each and all. If anyone cannot abide by these guidelines of the colony, we will not be able to welcome you amongst us, and the colony must disassociate from you, for we will not be able to coexist.
Coming up on The Colony, communicating with the outside world.
Hey, you guys, we're transmitting.
And the colonists lose one of their own.
He went too far. I can't find him.
I've never left a man behind until today.